Alright guys, today we have a 1x1 by 3 3/8. 1x1 square by 3 3/8 piece of basswood. We're going to get right into it. On the front here, let's go to this first line. That first line is 1.25 inches. That's going to be the center of his hat. And then 1.75 inches is his nose. Okay? On both sides, we've got an even 2 inches. That's where the hat's going to taper down to, like so. Here and here. And then the very back is 2 1/4. 2 1/4. All measurements are from the top. Okay. So we'll go ahead and draw those head lines in, or those hat lines. So start at the top of your hat, come down to your first line on both sides. And then you're going to start to taper down a little bit in the back. I'm kind of rounding each one of those lines. You don't have to, but that's what I've done here. So let's, at each point where the line meets the corner, let's go ahead and put a V-cut in on each one of those lines that meets a corner. These you might want to angle, since it's running this way. Angle it to the side like that a little bit instead of straight into the corner or the edge of the piece of wood. Like that. It matches the line. We're just going to put them in right now. Same thing on this side. I'll kind of angle that line. Angle that cut to match the line. Okay, so let's start connecting. Let's connect those lines with some V-cuts. That's on the face side still. Around to the back. And put a couple more V-cuts in. This feels funny to do another piece of 1x1. I used to do 1x1s all the time, and started doing 1.5 inch squares. Started to like those quite a bit better. And I haven't done a piece of 1x1 for a while, so it feels really small. Okay, so what we're going to do right off the bat, let's go ahead, let's just leave the nose for now. Let's go right above the cut and start swooping upwards. Right above the cut, swooping up. I'm going to go pretty deep. Same thing on all corners. right above that corner and start working in. Once you get those corners, then you're going to start coming out away from the corners onto the flat spots out here, and start swooping up at those or at those flat spots, or taking out that flat wood. And it's easier to go from the corner and cut into that flat spot as opposed to just going straight in right here. When you get towards the top, you want to come straight up. That middle starts to make a point, or that top needs to start making a point, so we'll take a little more off the top and gradually get to about that spot. To get a little tiny point off there. Alrighty, let's go and put the nose in. Put that line. Make the rest of that front down a little bit. Let's go around on all four corners and take the corners off in the back. All right. So now the bottom of the head. Let's put the bottom of the head in here, right about there, which is 2 3/8. 2 3/8. Let's go. Let's put a stop cut in right there and cut up to the chin. Okay. On the back side is going to be some hair, so let's come way out here at the edge and come across. Put some hair in there. I need to take some out first. Actually, let's do that. Let's go on and take out some more on the back. And now let's start at the bottom and swoop up. We want to keep everything down there at the bottom. We want her witch's cape to look like it's draping on the floor. Let's just go on all the way around, and then we'll put that hair in on the back side. Okay, let's connect this neck over here to that hat area. Let's put us another V-cut in at that angle. Same thing, both sides. Okay, now let's pencil us in a little bit of hair here. And let's cut that out. On that line. Get in there and undercut it. That was one ugly cut. If I do say so myself. Okay, now let's go back to the hair. Just cut up to that line. Wow, this is a lot different than cutting out 1.5. Been a long time since I've done a one by one. So small it's hard to hold. But I did several of them. Okay, we're gonna swoop up some more from the bottom. Did I just cut my hair off? Cut part of it off. Let's go get some more. Alright, let's swoop up to the bottom of that hair before we lose more. take that corner out. A little bit more of this neck. Flatten. Now we can take some more, we can swoop up some more with the face side. She's just kind of been going to wear a big cape. Alright, let's swoop some more on this hat. I'm going to put a little bend up there towards the top so we won't get, let's not get too awful carried away here before. Alright, let's cut a little bit off of that nose, straight down. Let's cut some of this back too. We'll try to leave that nose pointy. You might have to go in there a little bit deeper. Take some more out. And shake that nose up a little bit. If you haven't noticed, this little gal is going to be mostly upper body. The one you see in front of me here, I did it with a 6-inch piece. I really didn't like the way it turned out, so I switched it to a smaller one, see what we could come up with. Alright, let's do a little more swooping. All the way up to that neckline or the hairline. Alright guys, there's what starting out looks like. I've got to remember to stand them up a little straighter so y'all can see them better. I think if I lean them back too much, there's too much glare. Alright folks, so I've cleaned up the table a little bit. I've drawn a couple of lines in here. I'm going to put a little, like a little ribbon on her hat up here on top. And I drew in a little smiley face. And down here on the bottom, we are going to add some feet in here. And we're going to try to make it drape the robe or whatever you call it, is going to drape down over the feet. So first you see how I've got the front here, I've got angled back. I made a couple of cuts for the feet, the front of the feet at a 45-degree angle on this side, and a 40, it's not quite 45, but it's slanted back towards the back. Just a little flat spot on both sides, angled the opposite ways. One's going this way, one's going that way. So that's what we're going to do first. Is we'll take the knife, try to angle it in here, right on that line. Not too awful deep. And now we're going to take that little bit out from the foot side. Let's go a little deeper than that. Might have to go a little deeper on the outside. Okay, let's try it on the other side too. If you can see that. Try to get a little closer here. Just with the tip of your knife. I'm going to go outside first on this one. Now we're going to come back in with the inside. And I know my big thumb's in the way. I can hear a kitty cat squalling in the background. If old Dookie was out here, he wouldn't be sticking around very long. Okay, now let's go to the middle and put a little beak cut there on top to kind of split the feet. Now let's come down to the bottom and do it. Make it a little deeper. And now we'll cut those corners off in those toes. Okay, let's go up here and see. I've got 2 lines in, and you can see where they are. They'd be tough to measure. I went up about from the corner of the hat in the back, and the very back is almost a ½ an inch. But up there on the front, it's only about 1/8. Now that's the bottom line, and then I went up about 1/8 of that other line, all the way around. So let's just go in here and nice little soft V-cuts. And I think it's going to look better if we make just little cuts one at a time. And gives it a little bit of a, I don't know, a jaggedy line. Might have to use your tip a time or two. I'll probably put the fast forward in here and crank it up a little bit. Okay, let's go in here and put a little smiley face in. Nice and slow so you can get it in that rounded, give it that rounded look. And let's go from the top side down. Okay, let's take this, take the bottom of this nose edge back. I'm going to deepen out underneath that nose a little bit too. And just keep going, looking from side to side. Put it, make a cut, bring it back. See what you've got. Alright, now let's take that. I want to leave it as pointy as possible. I like the shape of it right now, but I don't like that edge. So let's take this little edge off of here. Maybe leave the tip alone and just take the sides. Yeah, that's better. Yep, I like that. Okay, you see what I did with this guy, or this gal. Have a big old pointy chin. I had a little square chin in there at first, and my wife said it didn't look feminine enough, so we'll cut some of this jaw down. Start over on this side and round this corner off. Take that squareness off of her face. I think I've already done it over here. And now let's take these little edges off, these little corners. Back to the hat. Unsquare this chin. I'll tell you what, let's do this first. Let's put a little cut back in there. Right down there at the bottom. See what that looks like. She's still got a pretty square chin, so let's take a little more of it off. Take that corner off. And this little corner off. There we go. There's a little chin. A little witchy chin. Okay, still down here on the bottom. I'm going to give the impression that her arms are underneath there. So down here about halfway on a row, we're going to put just a little V cut in there. Make it look like there's something under there that might be an arm. Around on both sides. Might have to make 2 cuts. Just nice and easy, nice and soft. Little V cuts. Then we'll bring that bottom side up. Make it look a little more like something's under there. Just go on the bottom side of that little V cut you just put in and take that out. Here we go. If your hair's not deep enough, you might want to take some more of your underneath your hair. Make some deep points, cut a little triangle. Give a little deep spot right back there on both sides, just to deepen it in a little bit. Give it that illusion. Let me clean this up over here. I'll do that off. It's a little rough on that side. Okay, so let's do something with this hat. Tell you what I think I'm going to do is just make it crooked, because I've got a little extra on this side anyway. On this side over here. And this side. I'm going to put a V cut in on this side. Make the hat a little bit crooked, going up to the left and over to the right. What we did on this old gal was just right at the tip we made a cut a little notch out of it. So I don't know, it's about halfway down on the hat on the right side. We might end up being just like we were. Let's take a lot of this off and bend it over. A little bit deeper. Oh, get rid of this flat spot. Make another flat spot. Just trying to get rid of the top of that hat that hasn't been cut. And taper that front back. Taper the back to the front. Try to get us a little point up there on our old crooked hat. Alright guys, I think I like it as is. We are going to go back to her hair. I'm going to put just some little V cuts in her hair. Make it look like she has some hair, which is supposed to have straight hair, right? Well, this one's so short that Her hair's, it's almost down to her legs, but it doesn't look very long. Now this one, you see where I give her some really long hair. And the nose has changed too. I got that nose in. I didn't like it swoop up, so I like the swoop down better. Some of you might want to put, or take your, see how I've left the corners on the hat. I've left them fairly pointy, and I wanted it that way, but you could round that hat off all the way if you'd like. I just wanted to give it more of a hillbilly witch look, and that's probably what I'm going to call her, is a hillbilly witch. Well, let's do that back here too. See, that was one cut too many. You ever heard leave well enough alone? I am sometimes notorious for it. To me, that changed the whole look of that hat. But I think it's okay. And if I keep cutting, then I really won't like it. Okay. So we'll put some more hair in here. We'll come back, give her a dunk, and get her painted up. Alright guys, I think I've decided that I'm going to leave them with just the linseed oil. You know, if you paint a witch, you're going to have a lot of, everything's going to be black. Black hair, black hat, robe, shoes. This one does have a, we could put some red on that little hat ribbon, I guess. But the rest of it's going to be black except for the face. So if you've got some ideas and you'd like to see it painted, maybe leave me comments and maybe I'll do a different video just painting this little gal. You probably noticed this little gal leaning up most of the video. Now here's why. I tried to do something super spectacular with the feet, and I ended up cutting off more than I could bargain for. So I'll probably cut off back here somewhere and maybe just swoop up, give her a robe on the bottom all the way around, so she'll stand up. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. Really would like to hear what you got to say about the colors and anything else for that matter. So, hope you enjoyed it. and we will see you on the next one.